Hey, welcome back to the Grid Culture, man. I just want to ask a quick question, man. This video ain't gonna be real long, but it's in response. Y'all saw Joe Biden sitting up there giving his nonsense, but which I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a large population, of course, these idiots out here who gonna buy into what he's saying. But before I even get into that, I want to talk about with all these the gun laws that are currently which have been placed in the past, not just by Democrats but by Republicans also. But these gun control efforts, background checks. Even the NRA is anti 2A because they put in background checks, and why should a person who's got a felony from something from a long time ago, why should they have to suffer and not be able to protect themselves? Like I say, why can't every person has the right to be able to protect themselves and be able to protect their family? That's just a human right. That's a God-given right to protect your life. But like I said, they don't care about that. They always move the needle, and then they'll sit around and talk about abortion rights and all of this bull crap. But if that's if they want to implement all of this, what does the Constitution mean? What is Second Amendment, Bill of Rights? What is all that? Why don't they go and change? Why don't they change that? Why don't they go make actual amendments to that? Since it's the law of the land, right? It's the law of the land, so change it. They go and making all these laws all in between, but the Constitution, the Second Amendment, is the absolute, the biggest, the highest law of the land. And they won't go change that for some reason. And y'all people go ahead and just go along with it. Where else is somebody just able to violate their own rules with no consequence the way our American government does? Keep in mind, they swear upon this. They swear on it when they get in, get in office. Every politician, every police officer, whether federal, state, or whatever, they all swear on this. And so, but we're supposed to just ignore it? That doesn't make sense. It's like the example that I use when I talk to people. I mean, imagine me, I agree to something with you, because that's what this is. The Constitution is agreement between government and the citizens of the population. But imagine me, I sit there and I give you a job and I tell you I'm going to pay you $300 for you to complete the job. And we have it all written out in contract. Not only just say contract, let's just say it's my word. But, contractors record it, or you could put it on video, make sure that it's all recorded. So I can't lie and say I never said that. And so we go through all of those motions, and then at the end of it, you finish everything and you complete everything that you were obligated to do. And I look at you and tell you, okay, you're not getting paid now. Or I say, I'm giving you $200. I'm giving you $200 instead of $300. You're going to look at me fucking crazy. Now, I can sit there and give you all of the reasons why and all of this and say why, but that's not what was agreed to. Right? That's what rules are. That's what rules and things, that laws that are passed, those are agreements on how to move. So why is the government able to break their own laws? Like I said, they're not making any changes to it. They haven't made a change because despite what anybody says, it says what it says. It says shall not be infringed. And it says the right to a well-regulated militia. Well-regulated doesn't mean government regulations. It means just having order within a militia and not sitting there running around people acting, going on rogue missions. But like I said, it says shall not be infringed under no circumstances. So But you and I will go to jail for breaking the law, but they don't receive any consequences. They get excuses made. You and I don't get any excuses made for why we break the law. All them folks who went on during the quote-unquote war on drugs, and they all went to jail, even though black people were getting fucked over for all of those years, right? Sit up there getting, you know, being redlined and all type of stuff, man. Put at a large disadvantage, and then drugs come in. How many of them got that opportunity? And got excuses made for them, but y'all allow the government to do the same thing. It's terrible. Fucking trash, man. Like I said, you can think whatever you want to think about. You can think whatever you want to think about the, two-way and all of that stuff. But like I said, it's on the books. And this crap that Biden keeps saying, and you hear people, this shit that they've been saying over the past year, talking about, and he said this before, none of the rights are absolute. None of the Bill of Rights are absolute. And y'all just allow him to say some shit like this. Do you know what that entails? So that means other things than the Constitution. Some of the shit shouldn't be absolute. But those things, those parts in the Constitution have nothing to do with human rights. When you're talking about taxes and different things like that. But when you're talking about things like, women being able to vote, that's not absolute. What about, the 14th Amendment? That's not absolute. That everybody should be treated equal. Huh? What about the 13th Amendment? The 4th Amendment? None of that is absolute. The right to free speech. And this is the example they always use, this stupid, ignorant example when they talk about, they say because the First Amendment that isn't absolute, because you can't go and threaten and shit like that. Rights end where threats begin. See, the right to free speech is to be able to express yourself in any way possible, in any way imaginable, including even if if there's some white guy and he thinks, and he doesn't like black people, and he states his reason why he doesn't like black people. It could go as far as to talking about why he thinks black people should be exterminated, right? That's his doctrine, and that's his theory on what it is. But it stops at the very moment that he makes an actual threat, a direct threat. Because now I should be able to defend myself. I should be able to take his threats and get proactive on it and not have to wait for him to act. Okay? So free speech ends where direct threats begin. But other than that, it's absolute. Everybody has the right to feel however the fuck they want to feel. You don't have to like nobody. You don't have to believe anybody has to be here, right? But don't go acting upon that. Don't go making those threats. Okay? And, shit. When you allow people to speak the way that that they want to be able to voice their feelings and how they feel about certain things, you're able to keep tabs on them. Now you can sit there and look at them like, okay, keep an eye out on him. But when you want to sit up there and ban speech and ban out people, but that's a whole nother conversation. But like I said, that's not what they were saying. What they're saying isn't that it's absolute. And like I said, you don't have the right to go through. That's stupid, man. Stop it. Stop it. Threatening has nothing to do with free speech. So quit bringing up that example. The only way to combat this type of stuff, and we're not even talking about, let's move past government, because you'll need them for government one day. The day will come, you will need them for government. It's what's always happened. Government always, it'll get to that point. It always gets to that point. You're going to need them one day. But let's just talk about just your everyday, just being able to defend yourself. Now, keep in mind, if a person, supermarket, whatever, supermarket, or, you know, a place of business, private place, a person's home, if they tell you that they don't want guns in their spot, then the right thing to do is to respect that, because that's their right to have that. But out in public and everything, and, you know, in your own secure area, a person should be able to defend themselves. Now, with that, you may have some stores that may say, make the decision that, hey, you can carry in here. And some may say not. That's where you make the decision on where you want to go. But understand, when you go in certain places, when you go in these stores, when you send your kids to these schools, when you have, when you go into these clubs, these are they're gun-free zones. And, you know, they have rifle reasons why they don't want them in there, but understand they're gun-free zones. So when somebody decides that they want to, they're not listening to the law. They're not listening to the law or anything. They're going to go in and do some damage. And if somebody wants to do something, they're going to get a hold of something one way or another. And however long you want to hold out or not, if you want to sit there, push it 7 weeks or whatnot, they'll hold out, do what they need to do. And then as soon as that time expires, a lot of these guys that do this shit, they don't even have records. And so then they go get it in. Then they go do their damage. Y'all want to limit the ammunition on what a person could get? You know? Nah. It's crazy. It's silly, man. Silly thinking. And this whole notion about, you know, oh, you don't want to create a war zone, a wild, wild west, just people shooting it out in the grocery store. There's already somebody going around shooting somebody, so the threat is already apparent. Everybody's in danger at the moment. You're talking about, oh, you just don't want a bunch of people having guns and going in and shooting it out and trying to take out a... What are you talking about? There's more people, the stats aren't with y'all, man. And on top of that, more people's lives are saved by guns. And think about how many people's lives are saved by having automatic weapons and stuff like that. Like I said, it's dangerous. It can do a lot of damage, but they save lives too, especially against a huge threat. You want to be able to make it easy as possible to eliminate the threat. There's more good people out here than it is bad people also. But we know the government's full of them. Government's one of those bad folks. Terrible people. Like I said, a lot of times they manufacture these criminals that go in these places and start doing what they do. But throughout history, it's been proven. They manufacture these type of people. You cannot trust them. You go in there and defend yourself. So you got to be able to defend yourself, man, at all times. Can't trust in no police. Sit up there, police ain't around. Sit there. By the time you saw how fast it was in that grocery store shooting in Buffalo, that quick, run in, boom, 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 hit a few people in less than a minute. All these shootings, multiple people hit in less than a minute, but you're supposed to wait on the police to get there in 10 to 15 minutes. It's already too late. Useless. So it's just something to think about. Something to think about, man. All this stuff, you know, talking about high capacity and all this stuff. There's so many. There's millions of guns going around the nation. Millions of guns around the nation, and most people, the high majority, there's only a small percentage of people who are carrying out these things, doing what it's doing. Like I said, you don't want to see no casualties, but there's other ways to do it. Your government doesn't care about mental health. None of these guys care about mental health. It starts with us. But, you know, responsibility is all part of maintaining liberty. Got to take responsibility of certain things. You got to take things into your own hands. So screw what they're saying. These people are tyrants. And like I said, if they were really about what they were, not only that, they're pieces of shit if they were to take back the Second Amendment, but at least stand by your laws. But these people are openly breaking the law in front of your face. Let me say this again. These people are openly breaking the law right in front of your face, and you are letting them. What is anything we talk about? It was all these protests and shit like that about people breaking the law and people not being held accountable. What is that shit about? There's no consistency. No consistency in how people move at all. But that's how the culture has become now. That's how the culture has become. You see organizations like the ACLU, they don't even move like that now. They don't protect freedom of speech laws. They don't understand consistency. They don't understand how these things fall back onto you. They fall back onto you because you want to make these brash decisions and just ignore the implications of it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Yeah, I want to hear what people think, man. Give me some feedback, and I'll holler at y'all later.